And quite a number of people walk away from see
Omelets.
omelets as a baby on the road and just walk away and nobody takes action. And at the end of the day, that thing becomes either completely dead or rotten, and nobody does anything with it. So for me, I saw Nigeria as or my immediate environment as something I could never walk away from. Every time I see something that is wrong on the road, I want to do something about it. I want to do something about power. I want to do something about corruption. I want to do something about insecurity. That was the first thing. And the second thing, I guess, which was possibly that connected deepest with my values is how much land does a man need? And that for me was a philosophy that I guess till now and possibly for the rest of my life would always be the question that I ask myself every time I'm aspiring to do something. I want more, either more this, more that. But I ask myself each time, how much land do I really need? And the concept of how much land does a man need is whether you have 1,000 hectares of land or a plot of land, you're going to build a house, you're going to live in a house and end up at night sleeping on a bed that is possibly not more than 6 foot by 4. So why trying to
No,
acquire
let's make it 6 by 6.
No, but those
Six
are
by
for
7.
king
Let's make it.
size.
Let's make it the king. That is the best. That it can only be
Well,
king.
exactly. And even at the end of the day, by the time we die, 6 foot up, that everybody gets. So for me, life became very simplified by going through NLI. And for me, growing up as well, having lived with a grandmother and trained by a mother who really based everything on values in life, and then NLI reconnected me back to those values that I think that we don't have in Nigeria any longer. A lot of young people just want to get rich quick or die trying, as they say. But values like integrity, responsibility, a lot of those values we don't have.
To focus.
So now there's somewhat like a change of button in terms of leadership at the center in Nigeria. We're going to the inauguration week. What would you be doing, or was the NLI planning towards increasing the number of leaders that this country brings forth?
Your question goes to the very heart of why NLI was actually created 9 years ago in 2006. In 2006, if you recall, there were a lot of reforms that were going on in Nigeria at that point, and the reformers were largely technocrats, professionals, but they were far fewer than what Nigeria needed. And at the same time, there were very accomplished Nigerians in the diaspora who were looking for opportunities to contribute to Nigeria. And it was those two, that is our story really. It was those two thoughts that led to why don't we create a platform for these people to be able to have a critical mass of leaders, values-based, character-driven leaders, and then we grow the future ones, because leadership is not only generational, it's transferable. So we are increasing the number of people who can make contributions to Nigeria. In terms of your question, we just finished another class of our accomplished leaders, the senior fellows, just 3 weeks ago at Yale University. And they are already thinking of a mega project capable of transforming one of the biggest issues in Nigeria, which is northeast part of Nigeria. Those are parts of the ways that we are looking forward to making our contribution to Nigeria. And it's not by coincidence that since the creation of NLI in 2006, that NLI has always had about 3 or 4 people in the cabinet of the president. And there are people, even in the current cabinet, that we are proud that they are able to let their technical skills make a difference in government.
Do you reprimand them if they do not keep up with the values that you try to instill?
We have a way of reaching out to them.
Okay, finally in closing, what's your message to the incoming administration?
People have talked about the necessity for us to build institutions, people have talked about the necessity for us to build structures. They are all very important, but the institutions and structures would have to be managed by people. And without people with the right values, they would destroy the system. So the message is that in selecting those who are going to be assisting the incoming president, values, very critical.
All right. The message to the young leaders out there.
Well, to the young leaders, I think for me the most important thing for them is to know that the future belongs to them. Every generation to take a country from a third world to first, it takes at least 25, 30 years. You know, Singapore has done it. Brazil is currently doing it. Indonesia is doing it. The rest of the world that are already first are already doing it. A generation means that between 20 and 30, add 30 years to your life, look at it and say, where would I be by the time I'm 65? And what would Nigeria be then? What is my role in that as a leader?
Thank you very much. We've been speaking with Yinka Oyinlola, Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Leadership Initiative. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And Kola Oyeni, Associate Fellow of the Nigerian Leadership Initiative. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We're discussing the leadership situation in Nigeria. We will take a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for the home stretch. Don't go away.